Okay, so I decided to do a video this time around, and just to recap, my dog Charlie, who is a she, has acid reflux. And because of that, when she drinks too much water, she ends up vomiting it back up. Which is a big problem for us because it's just really hard to give her water and give her enough water so that she doesn't throw up and doesn't get dehydrated. So my idea was to make something dog operated that would be able to give her water when she needed it, but give it in limited enough quantities to keep her from drinking too much. And there are things that are available that keep your dog that allow your dog to drink water whenever they want, and you don't have to refill it often. But what they don't allow you to do is limit the amount of water your dog has, at least on a mechanical level, and that's what I wanted to make here. Something that will limit the amount of water a dog has. Now, I don't have the brains or the materials available to give out certain servings of water at certain periods of time. But what I can do is make the process of getting water inconvenient enough that a dog would end up giving up before they give themselves too much water. So this is the design I came up with. As you can see, it's just a pipe and a bucket. That's it. Well, two pipes actually. And so how it works is that there's two holes right here. There's a little face. And if I pull this part off, which has a hole in the bottom, it will open up, causing water to flow out to the other end over here. And inside, there's a spring, so that if you let go of it, it will go back in. And the spring has to be stainless steel, or else it would rust over time. So a dog would end up coming up on this side, pull on a rope that's attached here, pull on it. It'll have to have a weight attached to it, but you just pull it off and water will pour out for the dog. Just like that, and when I let it go, it will seal back up. And inside this cap inside the whole mechanism, there's seals. There's one right here, keeping water, trying to keep water from coming out this side. And there are two seals inside of here that allow it to go apart, but prevent water from going through. If you look at my previous posts, you should be able to figure out more what I'm talking about, but it's kind of hard to explain without showing you. But this ended up getting really stuck right here, even without cement, so I can't really do anything about it. And I got the pipe stuck into the bucket and sealed it using silicone. So with all of that out of the way, I'm just gonna show you how well it does not work. Okay, sorry for the cut there, but anyway, let's get back to it. So I've got a water hose over here. Just stick it in and turn on the water. And let it fill up a decent amount without pouring all over the place. Wonderful, and turn it off. And let's see. As you can see right here, it is leaking a lot. More than it should. Now, someone suggested to me to use a lid to create a vacuum in there to keep so much water from flowing out. The effect is noticeable, but it's not but since there's so much pressure pushing down onto those two holes, it ends up not being a big enough of a difference to keep the leaks from happening, unfortunately. So I might as well talk now about where I went wrong and how I can improve it. And just to say that this final build is not going to be put into use. Mainly because with it leaking so much, it's going to be overflowing to the point where that if a dog isn't just drinking it as it comes out, it will just flood out of the bowl it's going into and ruin the hardwood carpet or wherever the bowl is on. So this is kind of a failed project, but I have learned a lot from this. And basically that water will just go through any sort of crack you can imagine and just create every single problem you can imagine for you. And the lesson has taught me never to and the lesson that it has taught me is to never intentionally work with water ever again. I mean, I'm not serious about that, but it just demonstrates to me how difficult water can be and the kind of precautions you have to take to account for water's behavior. If I was to do something different on this project, I would probably end up using a valve, a ball valve, which has, well, a ball inside the valve that when you twist it, imagine the gap between my fingers is a hole. Sorry for the other cut again. Imagine that the gap between my fingers is a hole. As you twist it around, water will be able to flow through that hole. And when you let it go, it seals shut, preventing water from going through. That will be a much simpler solution than having this sliding pipe right here, which gives me pretty poor results. And I would have to use a spring on the outside I'll have to extend the handle on the valve out, then have a spring attached to it so that when you pull the lever out that I made from the valve, it would just go back in, closing the valve. And that's probably how I would end up doing it. I think that, but all in all, I think this design could be perfected in order to work, but it would take a lot of materials and just precision of tools in order to make it work, unfortunately. But yeah, that's pretty much my project. Not a functioning one, but it has at least taught me something. Just to give you one more shot of it, it's, you can see right here, it's probably, as you see here, it's still not working well, even though it has had some time to let water drain out. Hopefully this video wasn't too much of a jumble mess, because this is kind of just off the cuff. And if you have any questions or any feedback, please be sure to shoot them to me. Thank you.